Yeah.
We need matches. Who smokes? Who smokes? It's like the lamp, no? Oh.
Nothing. No, nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, come. Om Shamagahi Namaha Yagadantahi Namaha Om Kabilahi Namaha Om Gajakarnagahi Namaha Lambodarahi Namaha Om Vikatahi Namaha Om Narakahi Namaha Om Ganadifahi Namaha Om Kumakitavahi Namaha Om Balachandarahi Namaha Om Gajanayani Namaha Om Gauridehi Namaha Om Sejamadari Namaha Om Suttahi Namaha. No, it's fine.
Where's Carmen? They know
Standing in our way.
God, he's getting it now. Should actually leave it like this. Looks better. Looks better that way. Thank you. Om Namah Shivaya Vidmahi Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tannah Prachodyanamah Shivaya Brahmani Bhagavato-Deepam Aradhani Samadhyami.
Jai Jai Namaskaram, Sai Ram. Good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. It is with a heavy heart that I greet you this afternoon. Today, we lay to rest the mortal body of Mr. Aveshen Naidoo. You know, we take into cognizance that whilst we lay to rest the mortal body, his immortal soul, which we call in Hinduism the Atma, journeys along the path to attain liberation. And we call that attainment of liberation moksha. As many of you know, Aveshen is the only son of the late Vasi and Veda Naidoo. He also happens to be the cherished son-in-law of Soya and Kanta Naidoo. He is the doting husband of Shavari and a devoted father to two daughters, Divyana and Yashali, as well as an affectionate brother to Tirusha Naidoo. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, Aveshen was no ordinary being. He was indeed a colossal figure in social and occupational circles. You know, to use the common cliche, he was larger than life. Such was his popularity. I was approached by several members of the family and several friends who wanted to pay tribute to the life of Aveshen. This afternoon, we have 5 speakers and several tributes from people abroad to read out. And to manage this process, I will call people to speak between the melodious bhajans rendered by Brother Shane and the rituals performed by our priest, Guru Thama. Before I call this first speaker, which will be Sumen Mudli, Sumen, just hold yourself in readiness. I will read out a tribute from Vino and Vernon Naidoo from London, England. Vino happens to be Aveshen's first cousin, and this is their tribute. Aveshen was more than a cousin. He was my brother who always was there to support us. Emotionally, physically, and literally anything that he could offer. We felt safe when he was around. We grew up together, sharing many wonderful memories and hard times too. The world feels a little darker without his light. But I feel so lucky that he was part of our lives. His shining personality and the joy that he brought to everyone will never be forgotten. Once again, Divyana and Yashali have been robbed of the time with the dad as they were with the grandparents when they were so little. For me, this is the saddest, as I know what wonderful memories they would have built with Aveshen from simple things like road trips, camping, family holidays, chats around the braai, and just spending time with family and friends. I am completely heartbroken. It feels impossible to believe he's gone. Please know I am holding you, Shavari, Tirusha, Divyana, and Yashali close to my heart during this unimaginably difficult time. Goodbye, Aveshen. Until we meet again, rest in peace. Ladies and gentlemen, our first speaker, Sumen Mudli, is the brother-in-law of Shavari. Sumen, please come to the podium and deliver your tribute.
here today not only to pay our tributes to Aveshen, but I think we've been all blessed to have had him in our lives. Aveshen was not only my brother-in-law, he was much, much more to me. He was a big brother, a confidant, and a steady presence in all our lives. He was someone that we could all turn to in very, very difficult moments. And somehow after speaking to him, seeing all of you around here, things always felt lighter. He had a rare kind of strength, physically and emotionally, quiet, certain, and reassuring. The kind that made you feel that no challenge was too great if he was right beside you. What made Aveshen so special was not just his strength, but his larger-than-life heart. He was sharp, capable, driven, and full of life. But he was also loving, generous, and present. He had a way of making you feel present, welcome, and very, very important. He brought warmth into every room, laughter into ordinary moments, and comfort simply by being himself. But I think above anything else, Aveshen was extremely devoted towards his immediate family. Shall we? The love that Aveshen had for you was something everybody could see. It was in the way that he spoke of you, the way he looked at you, and the way his whole life was anchored in the love that you both shared. To Divyana and Vishali, your dad loved you with his whole heart. In his patience, his attention, his gentlemanness in the most extreme moments, and the joy he found in being with you, you could just see how deeply he cherished the memories of you together. That love does not end today. It stays with you always. To his father-in-law, Uncle Soya, and mother-in-law, he was never simply just a son-in-law. He was loved like he was their own son. The bond that you shared with him was full of love, closeness, and deep concentration and connection. And that love was returned by him so freely. To Sean, Kes, Calvary, Saraya, Dan, and Yashwari, Teru, and his dearest friend Darrow, and all the close friends and family that are here to pay his respects to him today. Aveshen held each of you close in his heart. The love and bond that he shared with you was deeply real. And the place he holds in your lives will never fade. While his passing has left a silence that feels impossible to accept, it came too suddenly, with no warning and no goodbye. And that pain will stay with us for a long, long, long time. But there's also comfort in imagining something that Aveshen often spoke to us about, that he's now reunited with those that went before him. His late parents, Uncle Vasi and Auntie Vera. They now welcome him with love and at peace in their presence once again. And while our hearts are broken, we hold on to all that Aveshen gave us. His love, his laughter, his indelible smile, and the light that he brought to us so freely into all of our lives. Aveshen was deeply loved, and he will be sorely missed. To have known him was a gift. To have been loved by him was an even greater one. Go well, Aveshen. You will live on in all of us in this journey called life, always.
Thank you, Sumen, for those heartfelt words. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll hand you over to Brother Shane, who will render a melodious bhajan, and thereafter we'll call for the speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a tremendously long queue of people standing outside in the hot sun. So I want to make a humble appeal to you to please expedite the process of paying your respects to Aveshen. If you could please come through a little bit more quicker. Thank you. So let me take this opportunity now of calling our next speaker, which is Rosh Sufo, who's a very dear friend of Aveshen. Rosh, is Rosh around?
Good day, folks. My name is Rosh Sufo, and it pains me to be standing here today. For those who do not know me, I am a close friend of Aveshen's. Today, I represent his connection with people of similar interest to him. When I initially met Aveshen, I realized that we were both very passionate about motorsport, fast cars, off-road vehicles, fishing, and rugby. We immediately clicked and became the best of buddies. As I got to know him on a personal level, I understood why people were drawn to him. He portrayed a tough exterior, a no-nonsense individual, yet he was the most giving person with a heart of gold, truly a gentle giant. When I look around this hall today, I see familiar faces from our local motorsport community and our local fishing community. These are people who got to know him, respect him, and love him. They are here today because he positively impacted their lives with his encouragement, help, and advice. He was never a yes man. He was opinionated and was never afraid to voice his convictions. This brought him respect and admiration from all his friends. He was totally dependable. Ask him for help and he would go above and beyond to assist. A missed call will never be ignored. He would never leave you stranded. As an avid motorsport enthusiast, he built and raced some very quick cars. He also had a love for off-road vehicles and built one of the most eye-catching and admired buggies in Durban, a vehicle that was always his pride and his joy. He was a true passionate petrolhead that would be sorely missed in those circles. He was also an avid fisherman who loved being at the ocean's edge, putting a bait or two out whenever he could. For him, it was not about the fish. It was more about the camaraderie of being around fellow fishermen, enjoying the joys of nature. He was passionate about keeping our beaches clean and would not hesitate to school a messy beachgoer and set them straight about caring for our environment. He forged a special relationship with a group of fishermen at Beechwood, many of them here today, to pay their last respects. I will miss those early morning drives with you, watching the sunrise and chasing the fish along the coast. I will miss our long scenic drives to race events. I will miss our friendly banter in respect to the game of rugby. I will miss your stories. You always had a good story to tell. I will miss you greatly, my friend. You may have crossed your last checkered flag, and you may have cast your last line out to sea. I am sure that you will be cruising the highways of heaven and trawling the heavenly oceans, guiding Shari and the kids to eternity. Go well, my friend. May you rest in eternal peace. Salute. Until we meet again, I am sure you will have more stories to tell.
Thank you, Rosh, for those kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another message from Tinika and Ansu, all the way from London, England. Tinika and Ansu are Aveshen's first cousins, and this is their truncated message. Aveshen was many things: endearing, generous, thoughtful, and endlessly loyal. He had a way of showing up for people, not just in the big moments, but in the quiet, ordinary ones that truly reveals a person's character. Losing Avesh reminds us of the fragility of life, of how quickly everything can change, and of how important it is to cherish the people that we love. Rest well, dear Avesh. Thank you for the love, the laughter, and the light you generously shared with us. We will carry you with us until we meet again. That message from Tinika and Ansu. We're going to move on with the speeches, and I'm now going to call Ashley Pillay, a very dear and close cousin to Aveshen, to say a few words. Ashley is quite emotional at present. He's going to try and speak through, his emotions. However, if he finds difficulty, he will be assisted by his daughter, Shreya.
Dear elders, family members and friends, it is with deep sense of sadness that I reflect on the life and experiences of my dear cousin, Aveshen Naidoo. The song you just heard is from the movie Fast and Furious, titled See You Again. Aveshen, as most of you know, had a deep love of cars. From the tender age of 3 years old, he could identify the make and model of cars and could share his encyclopedic knowledge of cars with people. Adults were mesmerized by this and his magnetic personality. Ever the extrovert, he was able to fit into any gathering, big or small. His friend groups grew over the years, as did his closeness to his cousins, uncles, and aunts. In 2022, I had booked a short notice to go to the Otter Trail, a grueling 5-day hike along the Southern Cape coastline. I mentioned my plans to Aveshen, and he immediately said he would like to join in on the hike. I was a little weary at first, not knowing whether he had put in enough training, but how wrong I was. He really was my pillar of strength on that hike. The terrain was rough, and the weather conditions a little treacherous at times, but we supported one another and made it through. Dangerous river crossings, steep rock face climbs, and not to mention an incident where a group of baboons ruffled through our bags. At the end, we had both agreed it was an epic experience and committed that it would not be our last hiking adventure. We had planned to do a lot more of such adventures in the future. There is so much I got to experience with Aveshen whilst growing up, from the camping trips, South Coast weekend trips, Sunday afternoon trips to the beach, and our mutual love for sport. We celebrated many milestones together and lifted each other to achieve our best. To Shawari, Devyana, Yashali, and his sister Teresha, our deepest condolences to you. You have our unwavering support as you deal with the sudden loss of a key pillar in your life. The road ahead will no doubt be filled with challenges and opportunities, but be guided by Aveshen's positive outlook on life always. Aveshen's presence will be deeply missed, but the memories and experiences of him will forever linger in our minds. Our love for each other was boundless, and he will always remain in our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley and Shreya, for that wonderful tribute. I'll hand you over to Brother Shane, who will render a bhajan. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, there's still quite a long queue and it's stretching now outside the gate. And, you know, I just want to make an appeal to all of you as you come through and view the body of Aveshen. I'm going to make an appeal to you to reserve your condolences and your embraces to the family until a little later. So as you come through, you could just, you know, view the body, and thereafter, if you can proceed to the seats that are available. I'm sorry for that very unpopular thing to be doing, but we'd like everybody to at least view the body of Aveshen. To move on, ladies and gentlemen, I'm now going to call upon our penultimate speaker, which is Mr. Dan Naidoo, who happens to be the maternal uncle of Aveshen. And I'm given to believe that Dan is a bit too distraught to deliver his message, and he's delegated that to his daughter, Sudhika, who will pay the tribute. Sudhika?
Thank you very much. I'm reading this on behalf of my father, Dan Naidoo. Good day, family and friends. On behalf of the family, I extend a warm welcome to you and thank you for your support, messages, and of course, your presence here today. This is one of the saddest days of my life, one that I never imagined would happen. The death of Aveshen is an enormous blow, not only for Shabri and the girls, but also to his extended family and his extensive network of friends and business colleagues. Whilst we mourn his loss, we must celebrate his wonderful life, his tremendous spirit, and the joy he brought to so many of us, and the love he gave us all. It already feels so strange that Aveshen, who has always been there for all of us, with so much zest for life, is gone. Aveshen was larger than life and a powerful force of nature. He lived many remarkable lives during his short 51 years on earth. This was evident from childhood. His love for cars, speed, and racing began as early as a 3 or 4-year-old boy. At his maternal grandparents' house in Damat, with one hand in his pocket, he would confidently direct cars to park and reverse. He did this with remarkable success and absolutely loved it. He was a fearless child who loved engaging with people, so much so that he once ran up to my late father-in-law and without missing a beat called him Tata, the first time my father-in-law was ever called that. His beautiful spontaneity, respect, and calmness was never forgotten. Aveshen's pursuit of academic excellence saw him go through Highbury, Michael House, Westville Boys. He even traveled abroad to the Dominican Republic and India to further his studies. Aveshen joined his papa's business some years ago. The horse racing industry underwent some serious changes and challenges, which called for a renewed approach to business within the industry. Again, we saw and witnessed how Aveshen navigated these difficult hurdles. He was creative, fearless, and relentless in his pursuit of success. His most brilliant legacy is the pivotal role he played following in the footsteps of his late mother and father. He took on the responsibility of forging family unity with his very generous and charitable spirit. No matter the time of day or night, he was always ready to assist. Aveshen, my nephew, throughout his life, was solid as a rock in my life. All you had to hear was my Benny Mama, my Papa, my Mama, to know that his sound and steadfast character has never changed. I will dearly miss him saying, my Benny Mama. In closing, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Shabri, Viviana, and Yashali for all the love, joy, and deep fulfillment you generously gave Aveshen. Aveshen was exceptionally proud of his most prized achievement, that's his family. He has helped shape how Viviana and Yashali would view the world, how they would love, and how they would trust, and how they would ultimately feel about themselves. To Shabri, Viviana, Yashali, and Derisha, moving forward will certainly be challenging and difficult at times, demanding enormous effort, faith, and commitment. Please remember, you are not alone. We are here. We stand by you, and most importantly, we are ready to support you, whatever is required. Thank you. I also have a tribute from my sister who is in India, Naidoo, and I will read that to you as well. Damre says, I don't think I have the right words. What I feel is disbelief, shock, and confusion. When I think of Aveshen, I see that distinctive eyebrow lift and smile, fast cars, loud music, and him introducing me to Snow in former. If you know, you know. I remember a cousin who had every opportunity and even learned to fly, and back then that was seriously cool. I think of Reservoir Hills, school holidays, Theru and I somehow always getting into trouble, and those very dramatic sibling fights. But what stays with me the most is how close they really were. And even if it came out as constantly irritating each other. He had presence that you couldn't ignore. People gravitated towards him simply because of who he was. To our family, we've carried so much that this feels impossible to comprehend. To Shabri, Viviana, Yashali, and Theru, there is no right way to carry this. He is still here in the love and life he built around you. Being so far away makes it harder for me, a weird dissonance and inability to process it all. But I keep thinking that was just him, living life fully, because that is who he was, and that is what will remain forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Sadiqa, for those kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, Aveshen had a very dear friend called Sudesh Maharaj, who's now emigrated to Australia. And he's really been a long-standing friend. I think it spans some 35 to 40 years, their friendship. And he penned a little message that he wanted us to read on his behalf. And the message goes something like this. It says, Aveshen and I knew each other for over 35 years. It was more than a friendship. We were brothers. My memories to Aveshen go back to Stanton Street in Reservoir Hills in 1991. We met at Westfield Boys High School and realized he lived 2 doors down from my aunt. So I went to visit her one day and walked up the hill, only to be shouted at by a man sitting on the veranda. And he says, Vino will remember this. And the voice rang out, hey boy, what do you want? Yes, that was Tata. Thankfully, he let me in, and the rest was history. My memories with Uncle Vasi, Auntie Vada, Aveshen, and Tirusha are some of the happiest memories. They were family to me, and I was always grateful for their kindness and generosity. A part of me is gone with Aveshen, and it makes me very sad to know that I will never see him again. When I spoke to Kuben a few days ago, his first words to me we were all together. In those days, it was me, Aveshen, Ben, and Devendran together all the time. And I also remember the good times we spent with Auntie Logie, who taught us the ropes in the City of Gold. I know we all will miss Aveshen. I do with all my heart. But the impact he made while he was here was quite immense. I will miss you, my brother. Go well. Ladies and gentlemen, our final speaker for this afternoon is Aveshen's eldest daughter, Divyana. Despite being overcome with immense grief, Divyana wants to say farewell to her dad. Divyana, over to you.
I never thought I'd be giving this speech at 15. Usually putting my thoughts into words and writing them down comes easy to me, but when writing this, I had no idea what to say. I want to start by saying thank you. Thank you to everyone for taking the time to be here today, to support our family. It really means so much to us that you guys flew in and managed to be here so soon, especially on such a busy weekend. I know everyone here knew my dad in more ways than one, but I thought I'd share how I spent the last 15 years of my life with an amazing father. You could be the most smartest, successful person in the world, but if you aren't a good person, nothing else matters. This was something my dad used to say to me regularly. He not only said it, but I believe he lived by it. The past few days have been such an eye-opener as to how wonderful of a person he was and how he impacted our family and friends in the time that he lived. My dad was the type of man to ask someone how they were doing when he was in pain. In my time with him, one thing I always noticed was upon meeting new people and talking to someone, my dad's goal was either to make them laugh or to get them to smile. One of my favorite memories and examples of this is when my dad, Uncle Daryl, and myself used to go to car shows and events together. While taking a walk around the show, looking at all the cars, people would stop and speak with Dad at every tent. Each conversation filled with laughter and joy, reflecting on past experiences and catching up. He'd introduce me to every person, tell them about my love for music and sound. He'd laugh and say how he influenced it but couldn't keep up with it. And by the time we circled back to the beginning, hours could have passed. Now looking back at it, it really shows how many people knew him well. My dad was more than just my dad. He was my sport coach, my physics and biology tutor, my protector, my mentor, and my inspiration. He was there driving me around on Saturday mornings for every hockey game, behind the goals cheering me on, every badminton practice and tournament making sure I was okay. Every driving range visit, he was there perfecting my swing and stance. Any award ceremony, dance show, piano recital, live theater show, my dad was there. It's going to be difficult going back to the places he loved and where I'm so used to seeing him. I'm going to miss him so much, my coach, mentor, tutor, and inspiration. But more especially, I'm going to miss the man who'd hug me tight and tell me everything was going to be okay and that he loves me more than the world. Or the drives where we'd sing songs and he'd sing them way too high-pitched, dedicating certain lyrics to me. I'm going to miss him coming into my room in the night to see Charlie and I before he goes to bed. And I'm extremely going to miss seeing him joke around and be there to show his love to Mom. Yes, he's gone and I'll never see him again, but I'll see his reflection in Yashali, my mom. I'll see him in his office, in his room, when I walk past his scooter, when I see the bride stand, but most importantly, when I look in the mirror. My final message to you, Dad.
How can I let go of you when you're everywhere I go? I see your face in crowded rooms. Some nights I close my eyes and I still picture me and you. I know you're better off where you are, but there's no one like you to fill those spaces. I love you, Dad, and I know you love me too. Until we meet again, to my best friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Divyana, for being so brave to say goodbye to Dad. Brother Shane, over to you to render some of those lilting budgets. Ladies and gentlemen, we are nearing the end of the funeral service. And on behalf of the Naidoo family, let me take this opportunity to thank you all for your presence here this afternoon. We are deeply moved by your heartfelt tributes and your generous support. Whether through your kind words or your material and emotional help, your outpouring of love has been a great comfort to our family during this time of our loss. Ladies and gentlemen, the family extends an invitation to you. I don't know whether you want to call it late lunch or early supper. After the conclusion of the ceremony, now we intend serving a meal at the Dravida Hall. And I'm given to believe the Dravida Hall is about 400 to 500 meters from here, which is directly opposite the A.D. Lazarus School and vertically opposite the R.P. Monley School. We look forward to interacting with you and reminiscing about the good times we had with Aveshen over a meal. So we'll see you a little later at the Dravida Hall. Let me now hand over to Guru Thamo, who will now perform the final rites. Guru Thamo.
Dear family and friends, my very, very humble namaskar, vanakkam, greetings to you this afternoon. We have all gathered here under very, very sorrowful circumstances, and the reason for that is we are here to pay our last respects, our tributes, and of course to finally put to rest the immortal remains of the late Aveshen Naidoo, who have been called to rest by the grace of Lord Namah. All we can do at this juncture is pray to Lord Namah Shivaya, asking Him to confer His grace upon the soul by conferring the status of moksha or paramount order. And then on the same token, Namah Shivaya Pramani, we ask that you give this family the comfort, the support, the courage, the strength, and the fortitude in order for them to deal with this untimely issue that they've now been plunged into, that we refer to as dukkam or sadness. Dear family and friends, the immediate family is now in the process of offering what we refer to as a roja or a rose flower to the late Aveshen Naidoo. The rose flower bears a lot of good significances about it. Sometimes we find ourselves in different types of moods. Sometimes you'll find yourself in a very happy, joyful mood. Sometimes in a very, very sorrowful or sad mood. Sometimes in a very, very upset mood. But if one walks out into the rose garden and look at all those beautiful rose flowers that are emerging from these plants, that alone is sufficient to get your mind refocused. That is why the rose is referred to as a flower of love. This family are offering that flower of love into the casket. As human beings, we are caught up with three very, very powerful emotions: sondam, bandham, and pasam, ownership, bondage, and attachment. We take the most beautiful things of God's creation and offer it to a dear friend or a relative. That is why we have chosen to use the rose flower. Dear family and friends, I'm also going to make a request for those of you that have not had the opportunity of seeing the face to please file past the casket and do so now. Thereafter, I will do the concluding prarthana, and then we will transport the mortal remains of the late Aveshen Naidoo on his very, very last and final journey to the preparation room at the back of this temple. Thank you. go through front. We ask that each pallbearers be in readiness, please. Pallbearers. Dear family and friends, please note, the crematorium authorities only allow 15 people at the back of the cremation room, so please try not to overcrowd. Let us all rise for the last rite of parting. Om Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabam Suresham Vishwadaram Gaganadarishnam Meghavarnam Subhangam Lakshmikantam Kamalanayanam योगी विज्ञानकं वन्दं विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं देवरूप श्रीराम देवरूप श्रीराम मम्मेरु कापरु श्रीराम देवरूप श्रीराम देवरूप श्रीराम देवरूप श्रीराम मम्मेरु कापरु श्रीराम देवरूप श्रीराम देवरूप श्रीराम देवरूप श्रीराम असतो मा सद्गमये तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमये मृत्यो मा अमृतंगमये हरि ओम शांति शांति शांति. Thank you.